It's that time again. Me and Anna are currently on holiday, so I figured this was a good chance to do another Q&A on the channel. So a couple of days ago, I asked for some questions over on the channel community page. Also asked people to thumbs up the questions they most wanted to see answered. And these are the most popular questions, along with my answers to them. I've got myself my cup of beverage ready to go. And let's crack on with answering some of your questions. If you want to make sure your question gets answered next time, best thing to do, make sure you subscribe to the channel with your notifications on, because when we post up on the community page asking for questions, you'll get the notification flash up then, and you'll be able to pop your questions on there. But this is question 1. What's the dream set that's retired? And if you saw it, how much would you realistically pay for it? I've had quite the think about this one because there's quite a few sets that could fall into this category. Obviously, there's still 4 of the modular series that we don't have, but I don't know if I'd necessarily put them into dream set category because I think they probably are sets that I'm going to get eventually. Likewise, something like the Ghostbusters Firehouse. I feel like if I'm diligent enough in my search, I might be able to grab it eventually. So I think if we're talking dream sets, it has to be something that realistically I'm probably never going to be able to get. So I think maybe the 1989 Batmobile falls into that category because yes, it's cool. Yes, I have a Batman collection. I've got the big Batwing up on the wall with the Gotham City skyline. Obviously, we just had Arkham Asylum come out. I've got the Batcave and all that stuff behind me, loads of Batmobiles. But that 1989 Batmobile is so expensive. I would need to find it for less than £300, probably closer to £200, which I'm never going to do to be able to justify buying it. So I think that's the reason it becomes a dream set, because yes, I want it, but I don't want to pay fair market price for it. I want to pay like what it was when it originally came out or less, because I'm tight. And there's quite a few sets that probably fall into that category. Some of the fairground stuff as well. The Grand Carousel. Again, I would love to own the Grand Carousel. It's a 4-figure set. I wouldn't ever be comfortable paying more than about £250, £300 for it, and I will never get it for that price. So there's quite the disconnect between my dream sets and how much I'm willing to pay for them, which is why there are certain sets that I just have to accept I'm never likely to have. The Grand Carousel, probably that Ghostbusters Firehouse, probably that Batmobile. There's a few others that I would love to have, probably never will. Made my peace with it. And it's my current mantra. You don't have to have every Lego set. I don't have to have every Lego set. Next question before I change my mind. And that is, do you have any regrets over moving to the storage unit, and what would you have done differently if you could start again? No regrets at all, because without moving to the storage unit, we wouldn't have a Lego City. The channel wouldn't be where it is. This channel, we've still only been going as a channel about 18 months, and we've had absolutely incredible growth as a channel. And we wouldn't have had that without the expansion into the Lego City when we did. It was always the long-term plan to move the Lego City out of home anyway, because we knew we would never have a big enough room at home to house the scale of the Lego City that I wanted to have. So yeah, no regrets at all about doing it. If I were to do it all over again, would I do anything differently? I mean, obviously I would love more room. I would love more space. Can't afford more space. So yeah, there's an argument that if we'd have waited a year, we maybe would have been able to get somewhere bigger straight away, but then we'd have been waiting a year. So there's no regrets over doing it the order we've done it. And I also have no qualms about packing it all up and moving it to a bigger unit in 6 months, in a year, in 18 months, whenever it ends up being. We're obviously going to need more space at some point, but we can't move into more space until we can afford to pay for more space. So yeah, it's the constant frustration of the Lego collector. We're always limited by space and by money, and we just have to let them catch up, which is what we're doing by growing the channel and growing the Patreon and growing all of that side of things. So yeah, eventually we will get into the point where we move into an even bigger space. Would I do it differently if I could start again? I mean, the fact that I've just completely redesigned it, redone it, got rid of a lot of the wood that I spent a lot of money on and spent a lot of time waiting for at the start, I would have just gone straight to the layout that we've got now. With the benefit of hindsight, I wouldn't have spent all the money on wood, and that would have saved me like £600-700, which I then could have spent on a couple of modulars. And so I wouldn't have bought the wood, and I would have gone straight to the layout that we've got now. From the beginning, I would have made sure there was a build area there, so I had somewhere to build. But yeah, it's quibbles. I mean, apart from anything else, I think it's important that we are able to show the progress and show the mistakes and show the decisions, show the learning process. Because one of the things that I struggled with most when we were starting out, when we decided we want a Lego city, is yes, YouTube is full of Lego cities. They all look fantastic. That doesn't really help when you've got a couple of Lego modulars and an empty room. You don't really know where to go. You don't really know what the thought process is. Some of them will have a series where they show this is how I built it, but even then it shows how they built it in their room at the time they did it, with the facilities that were available at the time, usually in America. And there wasn't really anything out there that started completely from scratch, not just with an empty room and not a lot of Lego, but also not a lot of knowledge. And you've allowed, and by bringing you along with me, you've been able to see the mistakes as they've happened. It's made for good content. It's one of the things that's helped the channel grow. It will eventually lead us to a bigger space. The fact that we've been able to document the mistakes, some of our most popular videos are me documenting mistakes I made in the Lego city. And I'm learning a lot as a Lego builder through the process as well. So although with hindsight, I would have set it up differently from the start, actually, in reality, I wouldn't want to change what we've done, because I learned a lot by doing it that way. Because if I'd have set it up this way from the start, there is no such thing as a perfect layout. If from the start we'd have set it up the way it is now, by now I'd have changed it to the other way, because I'd have had my frustrations with the way it is now. So at least by trying out some different layouts, I'll know the pros and cons for when we move into the next space, and we'll decide what we're going to do there. It's all an ever-evolving learning process, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it, so no regrets at all. What's your best set of the year so far, or what is the set you're most looking forward to this year, or has it already come out? Best sets of the year so far, Tudor Corner is up there, Arkham Asylum is up there. I mean, I love modular buildings. The Italian Riviera is up there. There are some lovely, lovely buildings that have come out this year. The set I was most looking forward to this year was Arkham Asylum, so that is now out. So I guess, yeah, Arkham Asylum becomes, by default, the set I'm most happy with this year. Obviously, it's a year where I've picked up a lot of modular buildings as well. So, and there's a lot of sets this year that are new to me. I think probably my favorite set I've built this year would be either Ninjago City Gardens or the Detective's Office, but they're obviously both older sets. And I imagine when I finally build Loop Coaster, that will become my favorite, because I love a roller coaster. The Haunted House that Anna got me for my birthday, I had so much fun building that, and it's a lovely set. But yeah, for sets that actually released this year, Tudor Corner, Arkham Asylum, and then a little bit behind in third place, Italian Riviera, and then you've got loads of smaller scale stuff that I've had a lot of fun with as well. I'm getting quite good at only buying sets that I'm going to enjoy building. I don't remember the last time I bought a set and didn't like it. So I'm pretty good. It's one of my strengths, I think, as a Lego collector, that I can pretty well identify from the box whether or not I'm going to enjoy building a set, and I don't buy the ones I won't enjoy. It's why you don't see me buying the big Technic stuff. It's why you don't see me buying a load of Star Wars or Lord of the Rings stuff. And yeah, I'm pretty good at limiting myself to the stuff that I know I'm going to enjoy. So I love pretty much every set I've built. What is the rough total value of all the Lego? I mean, it's so difficult to say, because I know what we've paid for it, but I know what it's insured for, because it's insured for the cost that it would cost to replace. Whether or not that's the value of what it would be if I were to sell it, I guess, is a different thing, because we don't have the boxes, we don't have the instructions. Some of the sets have been broken down and are pieces. So I would say the collection is insured for £30,000. And I think that's probably there or thereabouts of what we've paid for it. And I think that's probably fair. I mean, if you just look through the modular collection, we've got 16 of the 20 modulars now. So a complete modular collection, brand new, that's probably close to 10 grand just there. And then we've got all of the other stuff as well. And there's a lot of stuff that we've got that we haven't built yet, that is in the backlog or in storage. So yeah, I would say actual, if I were to sell the collection tomorrow, you're looking at 20 to 25 grand, but for insurance purposes, 30. And it is something we review all the time. We keep track of what we've got. I mean, we've got like 350, 400 Lego sets, some built, some not. I don't have the exact numbers to hand, but yeah, it's it's accumulated fast. I have, it is mentioned on our insurance, but we've got it, the city is insured separately through the fact that it's off-site, and then the collection we've got at home is insured on our contents insurance, and it's all mentioned in my will, because obviously the last thing I would want is for me and Anna to die and the kids to not realise what they're dealing with. Oh, it's all dad's toys. No, that's your retirement fund. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And I don't want anyone to think that we've just kind of splurged 30 grand out of nowhere on it. That is like 2 years worth of buying. We had the £5,000 seed money that we had at the start. I also sold about £12,000 worth of Pokemon cards, which all went into the Lego, and then everything else has been funded by the channel. So we're actually ahead of, we've made a profit on it. It's not been a completely irresponsible 30 grand splurge. If you take into account everything we've spent on Lego and everything we've made from the Lego channel, both here on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, brand deals, Patreon, sponsorships, we are ahead. So we're doing all right. But yeah, it's crazy how quickly the value of it has increased in such a short amount of time. I would expect that to slow down now, because we're not going to be buying as many expensive old retired sets, because we've got most of what we want now. When you step on a Lego brick with your bare feet, what is your go-to exclamation swear phrase you like to use? Simple answer to that: I never have bare feet, and I also don't swear. How do you keep your brick prize draws city dust free? Excellent use of the sponsor. I like that. Check out Brick Prize Draws. They've got some lovely stuff going on at the moment, and of course do sponsor the Lego City. The honest answer is I don't. It's not dust free. There's always dust in there. But if I know something is being on camera, I dust it. You'll see around the room, there's a number of little makeup brushes scattered around the room. So if I know I'm going to be filming close in on a particular set, it will get a dust. Because I'm always filming different parts of the city, it kind of forces me into dusting most of the time. There are a few sets that are a little bit neglected with the dusting because they're rarely on camera, and they'll get done if I notice how dusty they're getting. But yeah, it's generally the act of, because it's all stuff that we own for content and it regularly features in content, the last thing we want is to put Lego on the internet and people are like, that is filthy, that's so dirty, why don't you look after it? So I am naturally a monster when it comes to this kind of thing. I wouldn't clean it nearly often enough if it wasn't for the fact that people were constantly seeing it. Because it's always on camera, I do always give it a little bit of a clean before I start. I've got one of those little hoovers, the little micro hoovers, which isn't great. The best thing is just a makeup brush. Just give it a whoosh with a makeup brush before you film it, and yeah, it generally keeps it pretty presentable. Do you have a favourite Lego YouTube channel other than Block Party? Which ones do you look forward to watching? I try not to watch too much of any creator that creates the same kind of content to me. And that's not just with the Lego content, it's with the content I do on all my other channels as well. I try not to be too influenced by what other people are doing. If I watch too much content along the lines of what I make, I end up copying accidentally, because it's just how the brain works. There's so much going in and so many things coming out that occasionally they'll get confused and I'll have an idea that happens to be something that somebody else has done in a video I watched a month before. So I don't watch a lot. That being said, I keep aware of what Brixie is up to, because obviously his Lego City is end goals for us. I would love to have a warehouse full of Lego. That would be amazing, but I certainly don't watch religiously for the reasons I mentioned before. I like, what else do I like? I like watching the ones that are full of leaks and deals and stuff more than the ones that make the kind of content that I make. So I don't even know the names of half of them. They're just kind of faceless channels that the thumbnails all look the same. Their voices all sound the same. The videos all look the same. And I'll just click on the ones that have interesting thumbnails. So it's one of the reasons I don't make that kind of content, because I don't think it necessarily builds the community that we're looking to build, because I can't even remember their names. And I probably watch most of the videos they put out. In the early days, we'd watch Emmasaurus. I like Mr. Bookie Boo. I think his videos are pretty good as well. I've stolen a few city ideas from him over the last couple of years. But yeah, I don't watch a huge amount of Lego content. If you've got recommendations for people I should be watching, let me know down in the comments. I'm always looking to be aware of what people are doing. I just won't watch anybody religiously. I'll just have a little look to see if I can see if I can get a little bit of inspiration without stealing too much. Was it always your intention to build a Lego city once your children had left home? And do you ever think the city might get too big for the storage space it's in at the moment? Well, second part of that, yeah, it will definitely get too big for the storage space it's in at the moment. We knew that going in, and I'm completely comfortable with it. We'll just move to bigger storage space when we need it. At the moment, the storage unit next to mine is empty. I don't know if they'll let me take the walls down, but if we could just expand into the one next to it from where we are, that would be awesome. We're not in a position to be able to do it yet, and we don't need to do it yet. But maybe at some point in the next year, if that unit is still empty, I would love to expand round the corner and basically make a big L shape and take another big chunk of city off to the side. That would be really cool. Was it always the intention to build a Lego city? Not like, it wasn't the explicit intention, I don't think, not necessarily Lego. The plan was always to do cool things with the space and the time and the money we had when the kids left home. Our kids, the last one moved out like 3 years ago. And within 6 months, Anna had a Lego room. I had a Lego city in the other spare room. And this was in our old house. But yeah, Anna's room was always going to be for like Anna things. So crafts, Lego, colouring, Anna things. She was always going to have stuff like that going on. And I always wanted to have a big playroom, a big toy room. It wasn't necessarily just Lego. It was going to be toys. I've got a lot of Funko Pops. I've got a lot of wrestling figures. I like toys. I've always been super into toys. But we kind of ended up stumbling back into Lego in a big way as part of it was a conscious, we can now do more fun stuff that we couldn't do before because we didn't have the space, the time or the money for it. And then when we started experimenting with those fun things, the one that we connected with first and hardest was Lego. So we ended up doubling down on Lego. It's why I sold off most of my Pokemon card collection. It's why I've sold off a lot of my Funko Pops. I'm selling off a lot of my wrestling figures, a lot of my football shirts, and kind of consolidating the interests down to the one that's now completely overwhelming 2 years later. And like I say, we've gone from basically a standing start to a pretty valuable, awesome Lego collection in less than 2 years. Because I'm autistic and get obsessed with things. But at least we turned it into a business. I would have done it anyway. So like with so many things in my life, thank goodness I found a way to turn it into my job, because I 100% would have done it anyway. But at least this way it didn't bankrupt me. And I think that is where we will wrap up this Q&A. If you have got questions, you want to get in early for the next one, feel free to use the comment section down below. But I think you can hear my voice is starting to go. This is the last video I'm recording before we go off on our holiday. I've recorded like 12 videos across our channels in the last 24 hours, and I need to keep drinking the tea and hope my voice comes back at some point. So if you have enjoyed this little Q&A, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. There is a playlist that's got a few other Q&As in if you want to see more questions answered. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I can't imagine you're new from a Q&A, but if you are, feel free to have an explore around the rest of the channel, and we'll see you again very soon, probably looking redder than I do now, because the next video I record will be when we're on the other side of our holiday. Thanks for watching, folks. Toodle pip.